pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do what? Gloria, Jenny made the motion to open the meeting and Glenn seconded, and it passed unanimously. Now I will entertain motions for the appointed council president. And I have a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would nominate Ryan Gatewood.
Okay,
I second the motion.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I would like to make a nomination for vice president. Nominate Ed Black, vice president. Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All right. So we have a president and a vice president now. I'll go ahead and go through the minutes here of the meeting. Have all the board members had a chance to read the minutes of the previous meeting?
Ryan, it was brought to my attention that there's one error where I'm talking about the marshal's additional hours to add to 2024. I wrote overtime and it should be vacation time.
Okay, it's corrected here. In this copy. Okay, and we vote the minutes separately? All
Yes.
these others? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented with the correction.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. These minutes are approved. We will sign these at the end of the meeting. Okay, the payroll vouchers and the monthly bills. We all had a chance to look at those. Okay, Doris, you want to make a motion to approve these?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. And I probably wondering where Russell is. He called me at, I'd have to look at my phone. It was around 4 o'clock. He is still in, I guess you guys know, he's still in Florida. They had a family emergency. And he said the ticket apparently was non-refundable. People can eat the cost of the ticket. So he had the ticket bought, wanted to come here, and he just it didn't work out. So I assume he plans to be here in February. Yes. And he asked me to convey his apologies. I understand it's the first meeting. He had everything laid out to get here, but between here and Florida, it just did not work. Okay. All right. Payroll vouchers, monthly bills. Next is the attorney contract for Alex. Are we just approving the hourly rate, Alex, $150 an hour, and a legal assistant of $85? Did you go with a la carte as the hours are used? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve this? That's the detail. $150 an hour for him, 85 for his legal assistant. Second? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay. Alex, sign. Did we get it? Okay. Commonwealth update. Matt's not here, but Rachel is. Make sure your microphone is green, Rachel.
The bottom. Yes, it is green. If I may, I brought I feel this is only, I think about part of that. Most likely not used for
So, real quick, I just wanted to give an update. We held a project check-in meeting on January 4th. I had previously emailed the minutes from that, or the summary from that meeting. Um, on your memo, you'll see kind of just the basics of the project scope, funding. Some of the current constraints we're up against is just timing. We are under a pretty strict deadline of you need to have bids in hand by April 1st. The one piece of paperwork, I guess, that's holding us up is an easement. We had some discussion, and I would ask the board's approval. Um, we've come up with a plan that we can potentially redesign a part of the project to avoid needing this easement. The redesign could be pretty quick. I think it'll take us just like a week. We've talked to USDA. They're open to it. They said that's fine. We just need to see all the updated paperwork and then the final legal document once this is clarified. So I have a couple of things that I would like for the board's approval or notice to proceed on. The first is a approval to proceed with the redesign to avoid the easement. I've put on here, we'll do this as an hourly basis. We will put together a contract amendment and I'll get it to your attorney to review. But in order to let us proceed immediately, we'll go on a verbal authorization. I indicated in here not to exceed 10,000. I don't expect it to be anywhere close to that, but I didn't want to go too low and then get stuck. So that is the one thing I would ask the board's approval. The other item is another paperwork item. Our contract was approved to be signed pending legal review. And since the previous president didn't sign it, I resubmitted the signature pages without the board president name on it. Do you want me to walk through the project overview with you guys, or are you fairly comfortable with kind of the scope of the project? Brian, I guess I'll ask you. Would you like me to give a quick overview?
Please.
Okay. So we are at the very end of design, getting ready to step into construction of a wastewater improvement project. The town has, for many, many years, been working to improve the wastewater collection system and treatment plant. When it rains, as many of you know, the sewer gets inundated with rainwater and groundwater. In the wastewater industry, that's called inflow and infiltration, or I&I. And unfortunately, the system is not designed to be a storm system. It's supposed to be a wastewater system. So you flush your toilet, not your inlet from rainwater. So the system isn't big enough to handle the rainwater. And when rainwater and groundwater gets in, it overflows. And at some point, you are sending a mixture of raw sewage out into the environment. This is illegal. We're not allowed to do that. And the town has been working to improve this for several years. And the town is actually under an agreed order to fix the problem. This project will work on the capacity of the sewers, upsize the capacity of the sewers to be able to handle the flow. It will also increase the ability to send flow to the plant by installing a new lift station. We have, I think Brian's got the project summary up there. At the wastewater treatment plant, we're installing a new treatment system. It's a FAGAR, submerged attached growth reactor, and it will allow the plant to treat wastewater much more quickly, a higher volume. But we are still including collection system repairs because stopping the water from getting into the system would be great. It is just not 100% going to work anywhere. The whole state, probably the whole Midwest, struggles with the same problem. We are unique here because you have a couple of creeks through town, and with the groundwater table being relatively high, especially during wet weather events, it it makes the problem pretty significant here. So this project will help you get off of the agreed order, put that behind you so the town can continue to grow and add more connections to the system in the future. That's kind of a big picture. Those are the maps I passed out showing where the sewer work is.
We got several lines that are getting upsized quite a bit. Down here in this blue area at the bottom of the screen, there's a 10-inch line that's going up to a 24-inch, 18-inch, 12-inch line going up to an 18-inch, 8-inch going to 15 up here in the red section. And then a new 18-inch line in this blue section here.
And the lift station is at the very bottom of where those two purplish lines come together. Those are the main, what I would call the interceptor sewers going through town.
The Sauger system that she was talking about, here's our lagoons. The dump is right in here. Going back to the lagoons. And the Sauger is right here in between the sets of lagoons. Submerged attached growth reactor.
It's they dig a hole and they put some rocks and some fancy aeration piping in it. And that's about it.
It keeps the bugs working and eating stuff even in cold weather.
Yes, yep. It's covered with the mulch that helps keep it insulated. The bugs attached to the rocks.
So the $10,000 that they're asking for is peanuts on the overall project. The Cromer ladies are not being difficult. It's just one or two of them live out of state, and they haven't been able to get in touch with them. This will allow us to work around that, and I would recommend that we do it. Not to exceed the $10,000 to proceed with the redesign. I think we can do it in a week. Motion that we could not to exceed 10,000 for the redesign.
So,
Go ahead and approve that, not to exceed the 10,000.
Second. Okay. Any discussion? Dolores, any questions? Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
aye.
The signatures here from the council president, looks like there's 3 copies of the same thing.
Yeah, there was 3 hard copies of the original agreement. I really probably only need one, but I guess your attorney might want one also for you guys to keep one. There should be 2 forms, 3 copies of each form. And Gloria has the full packet.
Okay.
Just as a refresher on that, last month I talked about USDA updated their contract language. They made us redo our contract with new language. I think something similar happened a couple of years ago too. And they're doing their review, getting us approved to go out to bid, and they wanted us to update that.
Do we need a motion to allow the council president to approve this? Okay.
I make a motion that we authorize the town board president to sign all documents and act on behalf of the council.
Second. Any discussion or questions? This is pretty standard procedure. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, you will have your signatures.
The final thing was on your agenda was the USDA certificate of officers. Alex, do we need a motion on that, or is that just something that needs to be filled out? And my understanding of that document is it's just updating USDA USDA is who we have the majority of the project funded through grants and loans. It's just updating them on who the new board is and who the person who's authorized to sign paperwork is. Which,
Alex, can you help us with this at the end? Who signs where? Okay.
Yeah, Gloria actually found an older one, so I reached out to USDA, but our rep has been on vacation, so she hasn't gotten me any examples yet. I don't know that that needs to be done tonight. If you can just approve for it to be done,
There's that whole date issue, so I'd almost be afraid to sign it until we know.
maybe we sign
they're
and date it the
supposed to do
same
it.
as everything else.
Okay. Let's go ahead and make the motion, if you would, that Glenn and I can sign the USDA officers form.
Okay, I'll make a motion that Brian and Glenn can sign the USDA form.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, you got it, Gloria? Okay,
And I did pass out my card. If you guys have any follow-up questions or anytime from here on, especially when we start construction, feel free to contact me.
all
During
right.
construction, we will have someone here every day on site, an engineer. So that will be your primary point during construction. They'll be able to handle the day to day.
Okay,
Anything else I can answer now?
I think we're good.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, Rachel. Community building report. Connie, I hate to put you on the spot, or could one of you come up and at least talk about the progress that's been made? Take some credit, man.
With the community building, we do have new flooring from basically everything but this back room has a new floor. We are waiting on an estimate to do the ceiling in the kitchen. And I think other than that, we're still at a standstill on, we do have a new sign. I'm not sure when said. We have a new sign for it, new flooring, we're gonna fix ceilings and, apply for some grants.
All right, thank you. Okay. The special session date has to do with the George Can litigation. And without Russell, I was hoping that we might be able to float some dates. And without him here, we would kind of be handicapped. We have asked for and have gotten continuance for 90 days. That puts us out into April, I believe. May 9th. So, but we need a time, we need a new board to sit down, we need to see Clayton's pictures, we need to see the Darrell Huey inspection report, basically all of the documentation that the town has to see what our position is going forward. And they even tried to send me the Darrell Huey report, it didn't send, so I still haven't seen it. I don't think it'll be able to do that either. So, yeah. But we need to get copies of all that into the hands of all of the board members, or at least electronically through we can email them. And then we'll schedule an executive session. Executive sessions are closed due to pending litigation. I'm guessing it'd probably be evening, that works best for you. And it'll have to be, I think it's right March. So it's probably, Alex, we wouldn't schedule an executive session until mid to late March. We could even leave it in April if we need to, it sounds like. Okay. So, yeah, Dave, got your calendars with you. We're probably looking at sometime in March, have the executive session to talk about intellectual property. Okay. Um, Roy Saylor Housing Development. We received a packet of information. Really? Can you guys hear me? Have to eat the silly thing. Um, we received a packet of information from Roy about a redesign on his subdivision out there off of Kentucky Avenue. And let's see if I can. There we are. I'll see if I can make this a little bigger. And let me get my presentation mode. You guys see. Okay. So his initial layout showed 21 lots. Are you only seeing the layout out there? Okay. The lots were getting pretty small, 71 feet wide, and that required variances in order to even get to that point. If you overlay that on top of the GIS, it's you can see they're pretty tight in here. There's 8 across Kentucky Avenue. All these other lots that it's up against here are 100-foot wide by 150-foot deep. And I redrew this just using some graphics to get closer to 100-foot wide and 150-foot deep lots. This was presented to Roy by Russell, and the word I got back is it was rejected. This is what it looks like. There's 6 lots here, so he loses 5 lots in that redesign. And the entrance is still off of Wiley Street. What he has done is kind of penciled in an entrance. It says street here off of Kentucky Avenue. And then he's got 6 lots along Kentucky Avenue. And since we just received this information, I'm not going to entertain a motion on whether or not to approve this. I don't think we have enough information. I think this does get at some of the concerns, Dolores, that you had talked about of putting a whole lot more traffic on Wiley Street. I'd want to see I think the lot widths up here, these 6, are 88 feet wide and 150 foot deep. So he's bigger than his 75, but less than the 100-foot wide that I asked for. But he's going to have to do a little more redesign, I think, before I'll be willing to take a vote on this. It'll give us a month to think about it and maybe ask questions and maybe get some answers back. And I don't believe there's anybody here that is willing to talk about this on his. Come up to the microphone, please. Right now, I think it's intended to be down, or can you see the screen down around the swale here in the lower corner? But I don't know. In the layout that we get, I would like to see that. I'm with you.
If you don't, you're going to get it downtown. Because all that water comes right down past the grocery store. You're already flooding down there.
Yeah.
My pond goes over knee deep in the spring. If you put that much structure up there and put streets and stuff in there and buildings, you're going to have flood downtown.
Yeah. The previous. Nope. Yeah, you can see down here. Are we not synced anymore? Sorry. How about now?
We haven't moved.
I'm still in presentation mode from PowerPoint. Hang on a second. Stop that. How's that? Is it still doing it? Okay. This corner down here next to lot 16 is where the retention pond is in this design. With his redesign coming in off Kentucky Avenue, I don't know where it's going to be.
What's the
That's
size of, the size of,
I don't have the dimensions on that either. Questions we need to ask.
it's gonna have room.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. It's this center line right here. It says street here. And apparently there's going to be 3 lots on one side and 3 lots on the other. That's where you get the 88 feet. I had 6 lots drawn there at 100 feet wide. But still, to get 6 lots in there plus a street, apparently the lot sizes go down to 88 feet. So it'll be 3 on the right and 3 on the left. And I forget how wide the street is, 25 feet. Does anybody know?
It says 15 to 20
Okay.
from the outside of your pole wall. And,
88 feet wide, 150 feet deep. Anyway, we need more information before I'm comfortable with voting on this. Yes. Can I get you to come up here?
As of last month, the zoning board has not even got any plans like you got. For one thing, there's too many in there right now. And I don't know, you need a lot more information on that. And he also needs to take his findings and his drawings to the zoning board, because if it don't pass in front of them, then I don't even see it. So, I don't think that as a town, we want to say, okay, we'll do this without really seeing what's right.
Yeah.
Doing what's right.
I've been talking to Krista, and,
Yes.
and
Yes.
the sketches that we have are just not enough
Yeah, she
information.
was just concerned that she didn't get any information on any of that, and that's where it's supposed to start.
But it's a step in the right direction. The lots get bigger. Main entrance comes off of Kentucky Avenue. I definitely want to see what's on the south end of that.
And it is required that they have to reach a house. And if the town wanted to, we can make them have sidewalks.
Yeah.
But,
Well, and he's the only waiver he's asking for now is to waive sidewalks in this scenario. But I want to see the details of the layout. Thank you. We're going to look into getting a roving microphone. I would really like to have one that we could, yeah. And these are not for PA. This is so people online can hear, is the idea. And if we had one that we could hand around out there, I wouldn't make everybody come up here. Go ahead. Sorry.
I only got one question. You guys are down in Roy for putting 16 houses in a spot. But you have a trailer park there that has 75 in one spot. Don't have nothing. Barely places to park. So why are you so down on Roy for having 16 houses? And then they just keep putting them in.
Yeah, I can't speak to the layout of the previous of the trailer park out there. That was not done under us.
But you keep letting them put them in.
What I do know about the properties that are up there is every property that touches is 100 foot wide by 150 foot deep. And
I mean, I understand that. Maybe he has to put his lots bigger. But you guys are dead set against him not building anything.
that's not true.
Sure sounds like it.
No, don't infer that. We would like to see the town grow, but it's got to be done properly.
That trailer park, has 38, there's 38 coming
Yeah,
in.
but there's still more going in.
But there were trailers, that many trailers in there almost already.
No, there wasn't that many trailers. They wasn't that
Well,
close
they
together. Come
weren't
on.
that-
I've lived here 40 years. I've seen that trailer park,
I have too.
you know?
But I understand what you're saying, but I don't think there's 75. Sure.
I'm going to drive through town.
Well, I
Next
think
meeting, I'll know.
that, okay, there you go. That's the best way to do it. Well, now wait a minute. Don't say you guys. We're new.
Yeah, the previous town council has a letter on file with the area plan commission that says no waivers of any kind for small lot sizes or the sidewalks or the curbs or the gutters. What we are floating is something to waive the sidewalks, but the town is going to get something in return. The people up there are going to get something in return, bigger lots that are more proportional to what's already there. And granted, there are no sidewalks up there, but it's we're not talking about the trailer park.
It's private property. The whole
Yeah,
park is considered private property.
yeah. Yeah, John?
We had several requests as previous council for information regarding this housing development. Put it on the docket several times. Nobody showed up to discuss it. Nobody gave us the ability to move anything forward. So if there's any information that anybody would like to have on that, I think it's best to know that nobody wanted to come and discuss it. So we didn't have the opportunity. And we had every opportunity to try and get this in. So any delay is on behalf of that group, not on the council or the previous.
Okay. And I skipped over SIRPC member appointment. SIRPC is a Southern Indiana Regional Planning Commission. Westport has a seat on the full board. They meet quarterly over in Versailles. And I was going to recommend Glenn for this job, but Russell, in talking to me on the phone today, indicated that he would be interested in representing us for these. And if Glenn's okay with that, would somebody make a motion to appoint Russell to SIRPC?
Sure, I nominate.
Okay. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor of putting Russell as our representative to SIRPC? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Well, he's not here. What's he going to say?
Okay. There are a couple of other appointments that we need to do. They're not on here. We have a seat on the Solid Waste Management Board. Joyce, I believe you've had that before. They meet of an evening. Jenny, I think Jenny would be interested in sitting on that board for us. So I'll make a motion that we appoint Jenny to the Solid Waste Management Board on behalf of the council. Can I get a second?
Sure.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Loris?
Oh, aye. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
And John, do you know are you continuing on the, the name just flew out of my head. Community, oh my gosh, brain freeze. Thank you, Emergency Management Advisory Board. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So the Emergency Management Advisory Board has a seat for small towns. We represent Millhausen, New Point, St. Paul, and Westport. And I held it in the past. When John got on the board, it moved over to him. And I talked to Brad Spear, the EMA director, and I wouldn't mind coming back, and he said he would like to have me back. Really? Yes. Me. So, could I entertain a motion that I be appointed to the EMA Advisory Board? Okay, second? Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. The only other board is the Board of Zoning Appeals, and Joyce is currently on that, and she still has one more year on her term, and she is going to fulfill that. So we don't have to worry about that right now. And thank you. Okay. Damon. Public Works Superintendent update.
I guess after last, I think it was 2 meetings ago, and I explained how the roads are rated and how they're done. There's still some questions and confusion afterwards. So what I've done was made this map and tried to explain it the best that I can. So it's going to be hard to see up here and be so close to the mic. But basically, the way I color-coded the roads to where how the state has them rated now. The black roads are all the ones that just did. The ratings are 1 through 10. 9 and 10 are no maintenance required. 8 is little to no maintenance. 7 is routine maintenance, crack filling, and minor patching. 5 and 6 are residue treatments, seal coating. 3 and 4 is structural improvements and leveling, overlay, or recycling. And 1 and 2 are reconstruction. So what I did, went through every street in the town and color coded them with this where the state has them rated. So again, the black ones are the ones we just did. Green or blue, whatever color, kind of turquoise. That's little to no maintenance, and so forth. And the last one, red. Sorry for you folks on Washington Street, but it is ready to work. And like I said, and my explanation for that was with the sewer project going on, I just didn't want to see the town spending money on putting a brand new road in, just have to redo it. Yeah, I think there's 3 or 4 culverts on that road that's also got to be replaced. So, but basically the way it works is, because somebody says we need to redo Main Street. Well, Main Street, the way the state has it, is a 7. So they will not pay to have that repaid. When you start getting into the 5 or 6, the green areas, these are the ones we're kind of looking at for next year or next coming year. Those, depending on how articulating, I guess, your engineer is whether they get paid or not. Then on down, the yellow is the one that definitely qualifies for this coming year to be paid, and then the red. So, and that's it. Here's the sheet with the, this is our color code. This describes the conditions that the state rates them at, and that's the roads we can pick from to be paid. So basically, I just want everybody to know we don't pick and choose. Because Brian lives on Washington Street, was paid that. Jenny lives on Rain Street, was paid that. Well, that's been said, and that's not how it's done. I did not need to pick on it. Sorry, I'm picking on you. You're up front. You're the one that's up front. So if afterwards, so if anybody has any other questions, and as this, like say when Roy put this system in or whatever, his housing addition, that would be added on here, that's for legal street. The only one that didn't, I did mark was Alley Street. Most of the turnpike have that. In order for a road to be considered a street by the state, it has to have at least one home on it that's only accessible from that road. So a good example would be with Government Avenue that runs beside the town hall. Google and all them have that listed as a street, but according to the state, that is not the street they don't live in. Where I was going Alley Street, believe it or not, there's one little bitty house in the middle between Mulberry and Bennett that's on that street. Most people don't realize it's there, but that's how we got that on the street in the last sewer project. That house before it was considered. It's not been paid, but I apologize. I don't have to mark that in. I have to go back to see what it is. I think I addressed that one more, so you know how to do it. The town has nothing to do with the bridge. So every bridge in this county and every town area is owned by the county. They decide, do I agree with the place or yes, and we were supposed to get a new bridge 2 years ago now, out on East Street. But they weren't what happened. I know that will be first. And then he told me that either the little bridge on Shot Street just before Poplar, that one or the one next to the grocery store, the one that next to the, I'm not sure which one, but they determine everything about the bridge. We have no say so in the bridge. I wish we did. We have several of them. I honestly, I've never studied how they rate them. I think it's all it is one actual topic. Just hurry up with the yellow topic. So if anybody wants to see this explain anymore, I mean, is that better? Do better this time maybe, or does everybody understand how the roads are rated and how they're chosen to get roads? I'll put it up there again, President.
Thank you, Damon. Okay, that brings us to the end of the agenda. Would any of the board members like to give a little introduction as to tell the crowds who you are, a little bit about your background? And spur of the moment.
Thanks.
I tell you what, let's see if we got any questions or anything from the floor that anybody would like to bring up. You can come up to the microphone. Yeah, Brian.
We've got a security light or street light down on the corner of West and Washington Street.
Okay.
It's been burned out for some time.
Do you know if it's one of the LEDs? Or if
Yes,
it's,
it is one of the LEDs.
Is it completely out or is it purple?
No, it's completely out. It hasn't
Okay.
worked for months.
So
And I just now thought about saying something about it.
if you have access to the internet, you can get on the Duke's website and they have a map of all the lights, and you can simply just zoom in and click on that light and you can report it if it's broken. Anybody in the town can do that. It's a public access. It's a service they provide. It's very easy. I've done it a billion times for lights. I can also report it, but
I've
if
done it too.
You're very welcome to just go in there, click, pay it, and be prepared.
Okay. There's been multiple break-ins. My son lives right at the end of the street there. We had 3 break-ins within a month's time.
Is this at the corner of
Right where you turn on Washington Street.
West and Washington?
They put a new one up there when they put the new LEDs.
Okay.
The poles there, the lights there.
And it's completely out.
Yeah.
Okay. For everybody's information, these LED lights that we have in town, when they turn purple, you can report them because something is going out. I don't completely understand it, but they are eligible to be reported at that point.
And it will ask you. It'll say, "Is the light purple? Is it broken?
Oh, really?
Is
Okay.
it totally out?" You have little buttons, and you just select what is wrong with the light, and then there at the end there's a comment box and then it'll turn it in as a ticket, and they will send you a response and let you know when it's been repaired. And so then if you get that and you're like, no, that's not fixed, you can report, hey, this isn't fixed, and follow up with them. It's really cool.
Yes, absolutely. I don't go down there at night at all. Yeah.
It's just on Duke
You feel
Energy.
comfortable getting on the Duke website and giving it a try?
It says report streetlight. I can do it too.
Okay. All right. Anybody else from the floor? Sandy?
Okay. The first thing that I would like to bring to the board's attention is when I was doing some research, I'm trying to gather a bunch of information. According to Indiana Code 5-14-15.3, secret ballot votes are not allowed in any government meeting. They are illegal. At our last town council meeting, there was a secret ballot vote was taken, and something needs to be done to reconcile that. It says in the Indiana Public Access Counselor handbook, it says, may a governing body vote by secret ballot. During a meeting of the governing body of a public agency, the governing body cannot vote by secret ballot. An example given is a commission vote by written ballot, which may be signed, initialed, or left unsigned at the individual's discretion. This is a secret ballot and thus a violation of the open door law. So that was an illegal vote that was taken. I would like to make a suggestion as just a concerned taxpayer that one way to get around that is to just do roll call voting, which a lot of other towns and communities do when they take the vote. Pretty much today, everything's unanimous. I think most votes are going to be unanimous anyway. But if you do a roll call vote, then you would not get into this issue. No, I'm talking about the vote at the last town council meeting.
For us.
Yeah. I don't have any issues with you guys. It's just when I was gathering information for other things, that's when I came upon it.
The minutes state that the vote was done by paper ballot. It doesn't say anything about secret. Alex, is this news to you? Okay.
5-14-1.5-3. And, you only have 30 days to, you can actually, if you want, you can report it. Everybody who partook in that vote can be fined. The town can be fined. That's not what I'm interested in. I just want it to be done correctly. But there is this 30-day window. So formally, I'm making the announcement of 30 days.
Okay. Anything else?
Yes. And another thing that I'm going to bring, I don't have any problem with the community building people, the people that are on the board, but according to your resolutions and your ordinances that were passed last year, they appointed 2 people for a term of 1 year and 3 people for a term of 2 years, and each member's term expires on the first Monday of January of the first or second year, respectively. That was per ordinance 2023-1, and then per resolution 2023-8, you listed who the members were, and it said the following members that were only 1 year, which would be Karen Webster and Jennifer, which Karen of the last meeting was replaced with Jennifer. Like I said, I don't have any problem with the people who are on the committee, but two people need to be appointed. And the two people that would be appointed would then have a 4-year term, according to your ordinance.
Okay, so we got spots to fill on that committee. Okay,
And then those people would be 4 years. And then next January, the other three would go off, and you would appoint 3 more people. And those people would be for 4 years. And then you'd be on a 4-year, like that.
We appointed one last month.
Yeah,
that
but that was just to
replaced a
fill,
1 year.
but that was just to fill a position which ended January 1st.
Connie, do you know if that's accurate? Don't know. Shaking her head. Okay. Well, we'll have to look into it.
Okay. The next question I have is, I was just kind of wanting to know why the town was closed on Tuesday, January 2nd.
I can answer that. We get 2 holidays for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Because New Year's Eve is on Sunday, we close on Tuesday to represent that.
Okay, then why was the town closed on Friday, December 29th?
The town was closed on December 29th as far as town hall for, out of my decision, because we were short-staffed and did not have anybody there that day due to Christmas.
So the town took New Year's Eve and New Year's Day on January 1st and 2nd, and then town hall was closed on December 29th because you didn't have any staff.
Correct, because we were on holiday.
And you knew that ahead of time because that was on the sign.
Yes, that's why we opened up all day on Wednesday to accommodate, and that's why we had that whole schedule so that people could be aware of our holiday hours since it changed.
Right, okay, because I actually went to go into town hall on that Tuesday, and it was locked, and I thought, well, why are they having 5 holidays when, according to their employee policy, you only have 4,
Sure.
2 for Christmas and 2. So it was just town hall that was closed, not the utility.
As far as I
workers?
know.
Okay,
I
somebody
can't
actually
answer
told
that.
me a utility worker wasn't working on Friday, and I thought, well, they were probably off for New Year's Eve, because they get New Year's Eve. Okay. So then the people who didn't work on that Friday either used their vacation pay or weren't paid.
Correct.
Okay. Then the next thing I want to bring up again is the 4 10-hour days for the utility workers. You know, Damon at the last meeting said that, you know, he would handle having the appropriate number of people and, you know, employed working, which I'm going to take Damon's word for that. And he said if there's an issue that he would make changes to it. So I'm going to go with that. But there was an unintended consequence of doing that to 4 10-hour days. Because according to the personnel policy, the way the vacation is set up, like a 4 kind of last 2 years ago, if you worked 4 years for the town, you had 2 weeks of vacation, 80 hours. In April of 2022, that was changed. If you had 4 years of work for the town, it went to 21 days. So it went from 80 hours to 168 hours. Well, we haven't changed the policy, so it still says 21 days. So now every vacation day that a utility worker takes is now a 10-hour vacation day. So now it goes to 210 hours. Every holiday is now a 10-hour holiday instead of an 8-hour holiday. Every day that is banked is a sick day, or every sick day is now 10 hours versus 8 hours, which is a 25% increase. So if the personnel policy is not revised, each utility worker with, say, 4 years of experience now has 165 and a half hours off they're paid for that they were not paid for last year, which is a month. That, I believe, was an unintended consequence. I don't think Damon wanted another month off without pay. I don't think the town council wanted to give anybody a month off without pay. But without looking at the personnel policy and making a change, that is what's going to happen. So I propose that the town council look into changing the personnel policy to hours, where it says 21 days, to make it 168 hours. Where it says 35 days, make it whatever 35 times 8 is, instead of 35 days.
I think we can take a look at it. I'm not sure I followed
Well,
everything that you stated.
I
Um,
actually, if you want, I made some copies.
So can I ask you a
Yes.
question? All the other institutions that have gone to four 10-hour days, how do they manage it? Have you?
Yes, I have, because I researched that a lot.
Well, and I'm interested to
Okay,
know.
a lot of towns, what they will do, like Greensburg, for example, when they get to their, somebody who has 2 weeks, it will say, street department, trash, water department, sewer department, a certain amount of time, let's say it's 5 years, and they get 80 hours of vacation. And then at 5 years, mayor's office, water department, the people in the office, they only get 70 hours because they're only open 7 hours a day. So their 2 weeks of vacation is 70 hours, where the people that work 40 hours a week, their 2 weeks of vacation is listed as 80 hours. And then as it goes up, when they get 3 weeks of vacation, it's 120 hours or 105 hours. So most people, they are written that way. The town of Westport, it's written days. So what I propose is that, the town do that would fix this issue, still give them their 4 10-hour days per week so they could have a 3-day weekend, is they look at revising the personnel policy, changing the vacation days to hours based on an 8-hour day. Anybody who has bank sick time, because you can bank up to 45 days. So if someone has 45 days banked, is it going to be 45 8-hour days or 45 10-hour days? So there's another 90 hours potentially that someone could have extra. I don't think anybody wanted those people to get extra.
Could the personnel policy be revived to state that all days are 8-hour days?
Yes, I think it can be. It should be able to be. And then I made took a calendar here, and I kind of laid it out on A are people that work Monday through Thursday, 10 hours. B are people who work Tuesday through Friday, or for 10 hours. And then to fix the holiday pay would be Schedule C. Everybody would just go back to an 8-hour day on the days when there's holidays. So you don't have the issue of like the week of Memorial Day, where some employees take their Memorial Day holiday on Monday and some employees take their Memorial Day holiday on Tuesday. And then your number of hours that you pay employees for holidays would stay the same.
Do you have copies of that?
Yes, it's in the packet.
Okay, all right.
And then the last thing was kind of to show, basically 52 weeks a year, Monday through Friday, is 260 days in a year. If you did go to what I'm suggesting is the 4 10-hour days, you would have 41 weeks of 4 10-hour days. You would have 9 weeks that would have 4 8-hour days plus 1 paid holiday of 8 hours. And then there would be 2 weeks where you would have 3 8-hour work days and 2 8-hour paid holidays. So if you did that 123 Monday through Friday, you would have 4 employees working. 82 days, we would have 2 employees working. 42 days, we would have 4 employees working 8 hours. And then there would be 13 days where we wouldn't have any employees working. This would be Memorial Day, Labor Day, your holidays. which
Actual
nobody works
holidays.
On the holidays.
Okay.
So that would be my suggestion to fix it. Still give them their 4 10-hour days, and the town wouldn't be, 165 and a half hours.
Okay. I would ask for a couple of months. Don't expect something by next meeting.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of handicapped right now. Glenn's going to be going out of town. I'm guessing by March, we could get something resolved and figured out.
And then another thing is, and I don't know what was decided on this, but as a taxpayer, I am completely opposed to paying someone for their lunch hour. I'm 100% for everyone should be paid for every hour that they work. But as a taxpayer, I don't think tax dollars should go to pay for everyone's lunch. If someone ends up working, something happens, they get called in through their lunch hour, pay them for their lunch hour. But I don't think a blanket rule should be made for all employees, because it would end up being probably all town employees to get paid for a lunch hour. I mean, I just don't think that is how tax dollars should be spent. I mean, I've only worked in the private sector, and I've never been paid for my lunch hour. If you have to work during your lunch hour, that's work, but you shouldn't be paid for it as a taxpayer.
In general, what is our policy about lunch hour?
There's no policy on lunches.
Okay.
We don't have a set schedule or anything. There's nothing written up that says like such and such will work 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. There's nothing like that written. I guess you would have to ask all the previous councils.
That's why we're here, bud.
Since January the 1st, I've been looking out for you, buddy. Hey, you didn't listen to me. I said since January the 1st, we have been working for you. But before that, I was enjoying Christmas. Sure.
It was no joke when I said I have cleaned up a lot of things over the last 6 years. And Rhonda Bartlett cleaned up a lot of things before me, because for probably 25 to 30 years, your council didn't document. They didn't create policies. Procedures were not in place.
We're getting better.
It takes a lot of time. What's that have to do with anything?
Okay, Walter, we got somebody at the podium.
I have a question on the sewer project. If you don't have an answer, that's fine, but with the agreed order, do we know what is the gap? How much are we gonna close the gap with this next project? Is it gonna be enough to solve the problem?
The goal is 0 overflows. 0. And each overflow that we have now at each manhole is a separate event. So if you overflow two manholes, that's 2 events. 6 manholes, that's 6 events. And the goal is to get it down to 0, to where there are none.
So is there anything in the documentation that if the project doesn't deliver, then Commonwealth is bound to fix it?
That's a good question. I need, Rachel, can you speak to that right now? There's a, there's an expectation of performance for
Right.
sure. And they're
And if it doesn't deliver, then what's the,
built into
how does
that,
that
I
get
think, is
resolved?
it a 6-month performance? You have to go without overflows, or is that IDEM? Okay.
Who does the monitoring? This is the second sewer project though, right?
Yep.
Was the first one designed to solve the problem?
And we did make it 6 months without overflows on that. But something has changed over time again, and overflows have come back.
So is this project, is it targeting a different part? Is it the parts of the sewer that weren't addressed in the first one, or is it, are we
Yeah, it's not
redoing some of
it's
the
this
same?
isn't relining. This is upsizing um, several of the main lines, going to the lift station, putting in a second lift station and a second pressurized line to the lagoon. I used to hear it called transport and treat. So whatever is getting in, we've lined as best we can. Now we're upsizing the lines and getting it to the lagoon so we can treat it. It's a different approach than we took last time.
I would encourage you guys to look into the details and try to make sure it's going to deliver what we expected.
Okay. Walter, you want to come up here? Or Gail? Okay, Gail Lee.
Drainage system for the stormwater. Recent town boards have, when we did paving projects, did not mill the roads down. The roads have been built up so high now, it does not allow the water the natural flow that they used to have. Gatewood Drive up there where I just sold that house, the water does not flow anywhere like it does. Now you've got to where it just stands and it seeps down into the ground, into the pipes. We need to start making sure you mill the roads down and keep them down to where the water can run off of. Got to keep in mind, the water does not flow in this town like it used to.
Yeah. The most recent paving that we've done, did they mill, Damon?
I'm just saying, in the past though,
And in the
we
future,
you just keep building it up and it's
Yeah.
just like building a dam again. It doesn't let the water run off.
yeah.
I did tell the last water, honestly, the road in town, they've got to be. I know we fixed the water leak on Main Street.
Oh my. Okay.
Another good example is, you look at Main Street, look how much curb is off. That they just paint over. The rain gutter is not like, over the years, it's big money. You can't say.
Yes, I know. I just want the board to remember that. You know, you're talking about getting the water, with too much water in the sewers. The town has changed the flow of the water in the whole town, building up these roads. That's all I wanted to bring up.
Okay, thank you. Walter, you want to come up and finish? Okay.
Brian, I would just like to add that the clerk treasurer in Greenfield makes over $68,000 a year.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anything else? Ah. Paul, do you want to come up here? Where are you concerned about? The stop sign at West and Shot? David, do you remember when that was made, a stop sign? I don't. Okay. Yeah, how long have those been in, do you know?
Yeah, right there, Dickies Corner. I mean, as far as right back, I remember.
Right.
At least they're not going 60 before they get off the grid.
Well-
That would be my only concern. I think it's because it's bigger. I think there's different strokes. Other solar.
Before we entertain taking them out, how about we talk to the police department, see if we can get some enforcement there? Okay. Okay, well, let's talk to the town marshal and the deputy and see if we can get some updated enforcement for that as a first try. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. We'll give that a try. Thank you. All right. Anything else? All right. Good crowd. Yes, Brian.
So they're gonna replace the line down Washington Street. That'll be the main line going by to that side. Off of West Street. Okay. So how much of the property is gonna be interrupted as far as when that new line comes through? Oh, okay. So nothing.
Okay. I was going to say thank everybody for coming. Nice crowd. Appreciate it. And I'm going to look into getting a roving microphone. So the gentleman had trouble getting up here. Something that we could pass around so people online could hear. Last chance. Going once. Going twice. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. And don't forget, new members, we have papers to sign up here. Are you a motion to adjourn? Second? All those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Whoa. Give me a warning on that
Way
one.
there. Yeah.
Let me tell you.